Well, we're just about set to get started. So, just waiting on two other players who should be along shortly.
Is this for that game you've been, I've seen post about like a session 0 for it.
No, that's on the 20th and the 27th. This is All of Us Sinners. This is Jaded's Chronicle. We are in New York.
You know, I think I'm going to stay and listen.
That is not up to me. We would need to speak with the other players. While I, as a storyteller, don't mind whatsoever, I enjoy the interactions, especially during break. I would not want to impose or impede on anyone else's style or their concerns.
You know, I totally get that.
I don't have an issue with it.
There you go. Lucio, Jacob.
I think he was getting something to eat.
Aha. Eating is important. Entirely. We had fried green tomatoes and barbecue chicken barbecue chicken breast and steamed veggies tonight.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
That reminds me, I need to open my bag of butterscotch so we can listen to click, click, click all night.
Well, you know, we all have our styles.
My anxiety is so bad that my jaw is tight all the time, so sucking on butterscotch candy makes it feel better.
Nice.
It doesn't make me less stressed out.
And almost...
Hey, Penny, you cool if I listen to you guys play tonight?
I do not mind.
Cool, that's 2 out of 5. Hey, Jacob, do you mind if I spectate your game tonight?
I am back.
Welcome back.
I literally just got back as he asked that question. Spectating this game? Sure.
Fantastic. That is 4 out of 5.
And majority rules.
But does it though?
One of the things that has to be unanimous, so.
So Jacob, as you weren't here last week, we had you just conveniently slip out before anyone noticed when you guys woke up that night. The only question I have for you, well, I guess 2 questions, is A, did you take that laptop with you? And B, did you just go home?
By laptop, do you mean the one with... Oh, wait, no, I remember what laptop we're talking about now. I'm going to say... yes to the first question, that I took it. No, I didn't go home. I guess what we can say is that I was spending the time, like, looking through that laptop because that Jacob's convinced that there's something on there that he can use, like some kind of evidence that'll help them. He doesn't want to return home a failure and have his sire belittle him.
I mean, to be fair, your sire will probably belittle you even if you had a success.
I'm aware of that. But if he doesn't succeed, then in his mind, his sire will be justified. And he can't have that.
That's more than fair. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that Morgan didn't have the laptop, because that would be different. Other than that, we are at a point where we could just slide you back in, or we could keep you separate for a while.
Whatever you think would be best for the story, or whatever's easiest to run for you.
I mean, whatever you want to do, I can go either way, but they are about to go into the garage where the car was registered that was following you, so it's easy enough for you to just conveniently meet them there.
Sure.
I've been working a ton, so I haven't got a whole lot of time to brain crunch stuff, so in fact, I'm excited that I'm probably going to have to work this weekend, even though Friday night I have an out-of-town gig that's a 2-hour drive one way.
Holy crap. Where are you going, to Kentucky?
Akron.
Oh, yeah, well, these things happen, unfortunately.
Hello and welcome.
Sorry about that. Time got away from me.
No worries, I'm usually not here by now anyway. I literally came home from work an hour late and then just went right to sleep.
That's gotta be nice. The peaceful moment that you have to just doze off.
It's better than when I used to sleep right up until it was time to be here, and it took me a half an hour to realize what I was doing.
Fair enough.
So, any questions, comments, concerns, any of those sort of things before we consider launching into this?
Did we make any progress?
You hung out with Morgan. Or I guess more accurately, Morgan hung out with you, but they went and got Morgan, and then she was able to crack into the server. After complaining about how it looked like it was just ripped out of a wall.
Yeah.
She accessed video files, and there was a file of somebody who was wearing a hoodie with their face covered, kneeling down in front of the door for a couple minutes and then leaving. And the speculation was that it may or may not be a Nosferatu.
When in doubt, it's always a Nosferatu.
Oh yeah, good.
But other than forming up the war party to go to the limo service garage, I don't think there was really any actual story arc progress. A lot of conversation and roleplay, and a lot of teaching the baby.
At least nobody put baby in the corner.
Not yet, anyway. Though you did leave her home alone, so I'm sure that'll be alright. Nothing bad will come of that.
Right, what's the worst that can happen? Totally fine.
Though I will say it was probably a much better option than bringing her along.
You say that, and yet there's a very real inclination. Let's turn around and go get Morgan. We could use the muscle.
She could innocent at them?
Yes. She could be our canary as we go into this particular coal mine.
Trying to think of an episode title, and then we'll move on here.
Canary in a coal mine.
Maybe I'll just call it Episode 5.
Electric Boogaloo.
Episode 5, the one where they all die.
That was episode 1.
Only one person died in Episode 1.
Physically. But emotionally, I'm not sure that we've actually quite healed or dealt with the tragic, graphic nature of watching someone plummet to their death and splatter like an egg. That's quite a lot. And it ruins and ends parts of us. Or at least it would if we had higher humanity.
Oh, Charles, how we never knew ye.
That's right, that was his name.
Charles, Chaz, take your pick, it's fine.
In my mind, I've always labeled him the love-struck idiot, but that's just me.
That's
I
fair.
mean, but was he actually love-struck?
Blood bond struck, maybe?
That might be more accurate.
Could be any number of things.
Or maybe he was brainwashed.
Maybe it was all an illusion.
Or the most frightening possibility of all. There was no magic involved. He really was just that crazy.
That is possible.
I mean,
People do throw themselves off buildings from time to time.
with the alternative was dealing with us. Maybe it was just an act of self-preservation.
Some sort of dramatic foreshadowing.
Dun dun dun.
Alrighty then. So, again, I will take the easy cop out for anyone who may stumble across this on YouTube of disclaimer, trigger warning. They're playing vampires. They're not good people and horrible things happen. This is All of Our Sinners, episode 5, and we'll call it Better or Worse. Why not? Not the why not part, just better or worse. So, when last we left our intrepid band of the burgeoning coterie full of would-be murderers, we found them doing a few things, one of which picking up the fledgling, who apparently is extremely good with computers. She hacked into the server. She got them some information from the video files. They taught her a few things about being a vampire, because she knows very little. They got a little information on her, such as knowing that she is not even a year dead, and that her sire pretty much abandoned her after 1 or 2 visits. Then we formed up and we went to the garage in Manhattan, where you had found out the registration led to from the car that had followed you after you left Chaz's. And that's where we left, was outside looking at the building. We established that there was some sort of office leading into it. But other than that, we hadn't entered any details. Looks like we're going with Jacob is meeting them there. So our scene opens up in the rain, though it is no longer really raining, it's more of a mist. As we stand outside a garage that looks mostly closed for the night, at least the front office, though there is a light on. So, Jacob comes wandering up, and we... ...
Well, look what the cat drugged in. Where'd you get off to?
I was trying to see if I could find anything more on this laptop. I just wanted a quiet place to work through it, but... well, the fact that I'm here now means that I found nothing, so...
Well, that ain't good.
What have you got on your end?
That ain't good at all. Just as long as we are associating in the almost professional sort of manner, we should probably keep in contact. That's what I was driving at the last time before you took off. Just to give us a heads up about these things for later. Just in case we gotta vouch for you and you gotta vouch for us. What we're getting ready to do, about to storm this place here. Get as much information as we can. Hopefully it's something that's more beneficial. Me and Rick, of course, we're the bullet shields, and our resident criminal sneak thief and cat burglar of the rich, Penny, will make her way in to get whatever information she can for us. So are you with Team Bombastic or your Team Scholastic?
I'm definitely more of the Scholastic variety.
What, with your height, with with your glasses, with your looks, I'm not so sure about that. I think you might be a secret leg breaker, but sure, that works too.
I was a leg fixer, if anything, but I see your point.
So I will need a little bookkeeping from Jacob, since he wasn't here last week. We'll need a waking rouse check, and then also if you would like to roll a intelligence and technology is what we'll go with for your time searching through the laptop. Whenever you get a chance, it's not an immediate concern.
Alright, let's do the hunger first.
Penny and Lyric, anything to contribute?
You said intelligence and technology?
Yeah, it seems apt.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I'm using willpower on that.
Not a whole lot to add from Penny.
Lyric's just kind of getting ready for her role. Just coming up with possibilities of who she's playing right now in her head.
All right, so we will fill Jacob in on that role that he got a little later. He did find some things, of which he found a hidden folder that had much more involved kind of off-the-book sort of financial records that tied into a number of LLCs and local Manhattan businesses. As far as finding an actual footprint or any real names, you did not come across that. It appears that he was smart enough to not leave that on his computer. But it does give you some things to go on. Did you go into the Minecraft at all?
Yeah, I'd say Jacob would. He's probably familiar enough, maybe from like a family relation, on if not how to play it, then at least how to like work it.
One of the servers will have a number of messages that were passed back and forth that seem to be thinly coded sort of vampire stuff. It doesn't really lead to anything, but it is indicative that he was talking to somebody online in a manner that he probably should not have been, though in a place that a lot of people wouldn't look.
There wouldn't happen to be a username for the person he was chatting with, would there?
There would. I wrote it down. Let me find what it is. It was Goku 537. Because that seems like a plausible username.
Excellent choice.
Alright, so we stand outside the garage. I believe it was a 2-prong attack.
It was.
Correct.
Alright, so who is going first then?
Well, we're waiting for, we're stalling for Penny to get a chance to park the car close, get close enough and give us the heads up that she's ready so that we can go in and create the diversion.
Exactly.
Alright, just so I'm clear, because I may not be, 2 of you are going in or 2 are staying outside?
Yes, that sounds about right.
Indubitably.
I concur.
I like that. I heard it when I was a kid. forget the character, the cartoon character that would say, indubitably. And I could not say it till I was like in the 5th grade. Indubitably. It is a tongue twister. I like it.
So, the two of you cross the street as Penny finds somewhere to park. She has to double park, but that's not an unusual thing. She's with the car, so it's not like she's going to get booted, ticketed, or towed. You don't see an actual garage entrance. I mean, you see a garage door, but it's closed. It seems like the easiest point of egress is through that office.
Excellent. So we get the go ahead, or are we still casing the joint? Taking a quick glimpse towards the double parked car, because there's a certain level of professionalism that I engage in versus the standard cat burglar skills necessary to do this. So I need it.
Penny will give a thumbs up.
Oh, that's just loads of confidence.
Lyric looks at Ben. So do we want them to come out, or do we want to go in and distract them so that she can sneak past and get into the garage?
We need to distract this maid and Harry. If they come out, they might be on guard and considerably more wary. We want to create as much of a divergence as possible. So let's get inside. So, moving towards the door. You want to do the honors?
They get within earshot of the door, she kind of jiggles the knob and looks back at him. And where she previously was a little bit quiet, she raises her voice to be overheard. I can't believe you. I can't believe you had that girl out with you. And in this fucking car.
Girl, what are you talking about? She's old enough to be your grandmother. It was not what you think.
My cousin called me and told me she saw you.
Your cousin was there. Of course she saw me. She's the one who introduced me to her auntie. Well, I don't know how she's to her auntie, considering that she's like 4 decades older. But, it's just a friendly drink. How was I to know that she was actually going to do it? Who would take their dentures off to do a body shot?
Ew, that's fucking disgusting. I can't believe you. I can't.
That was disgusting.
She's like walking through the door as they're yelling at each other.
Come on, that's nothing but a body shot. You've done worse. What about that vacant review?
In the back of the fucking car.
It was an accident. How would I know if she was, gonna go through your panty drawer and find your good jewelry and wear it out tonight? How was I supposed to know this?
Because I don't trust them bitches.
That may be, and that's perfectly good reason.
Like a whole fool of themselves in this office as they walk.
So as you push the door open, there is a sort of chime buzzer to alert whoever might be nearby that someone has entered the building, but there is no one in this small lobby. It is very well appointed, a lot of chrome and dark wood, highly polished floors, kind of backlit logo. I never did come up with a name for the place, so just consider that it's a prestigious sounding name and a very cool logo. But there is no one behind the desk. Then there's kind of a separating wall where you would assume there are probably desks and phones and whatnot where people do the actual work rather than the reception.
Look, I told you she should probably come back later.
She's going to look for an access door to the garage from the inside and see if that would be immediately visible.
You do not see one, though it stands to reason that there is one somewhere.
Cameras, mirrors, easy surveillance that could be hidden.
Don't see any mirrors, but you do see the typical CCTV cameras watching the lobby.
Yeah.
Every place has cameras now.
stepping close to Rick as if I'm the stereotypical mildly abusive partner, so that my voice is nice and lower, because I'm not sure if that one has sound specifically, or at least they can read lips. Turning so the camera can't see me specifically, and holding her arms as if I'm trying to keep her from doing anything. Doesn't seem to be many people actually on this pod. There's only so many types of people that wouldn't care about the theater security. Give her a gentle shake for the camera.
And she kind of keeps in character, but then she's also replying to him. Either they don't have to worry about whatever it is they're trying to hold off to, or they have some sort of surprises waiting somewhere. So we got to figure out how to get her in. What do we do?
Well, nothing causes attention like actual act of violence. Throw me into the desk, or gently through the desk if you can. Let's see how many people we can get running into this area. Give her another shake for the camera.
She beats against his chest, like, how dare you, and then shoves the shit out of him, but knowing that at the last minute the punch is slightly pulled, she didn't punch him, but she shoved him, but the force is slightly pulled so that he only goes but so far, tumbling over the desk.
All right, it's fairly controlled and premeditated, but still, if I could we'll go with a Dex and Athletics from Finn, just to make sure that he sticks the landing.
Oh no, I want to ruin the landing. I'm going to do my absolute positive best to be as clumsy, which is not that difficult, as possible when going over this desk. Loud, easy to see, limbs flailing everywhere. Emoji face on as I go tumbling over, sprawling paper, phones, whatever is on that desk goes flying off as I go over it.
Fair enough. You're not. Go ahead.
Shouting, "You said you wouldn't hit me no more."
All right, so Finn goes sprawling backwards and hits the desk and tumbles over it, crashes to the floor, taking out a computer terminal and a telephone. It was about a minute later that a sleepy-looking guy who was still buttoning his pants comes up and he's like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Oh my God! You've got your top flight security down here on me. Really? You said you weren't gonna get me arrested anymore.
I don't know what's going on here, but y'all gotta leave. Can't be in here doing that.
We're not doing anything. What are you doing? Why are your pants down? You see? You left your... Oh my...
Oh, so now you're kink shaming top flight security, huh?
I'm not kink shaming anybody. What are you trying to get him to do? You bring me over here to get sodomized? Oh my God! I'm definitely this guy's type.
Hey, no one's my type. I don't know what you're talking about. Just
what do you mean no one's your type? I'm like, look at me. Oh my God, my shirt is worth more than your entire uniform. You saying that I'm not your type? What kind of guy are you?
Look, man, I don't know about any of that. I just...
Whoa. Did you just call me a man? You don't even know what I identify as. What's your problem, guy? Why you gotta make this such antagonistic? We're just here for the jewelry. We left in the back seat. Why you being like this? You hate us because we're not Chinese, don't you?
All right, that's it. I'm calling the cops.
You're calling the cops? We already called the cops. You're on live film right now. Pull out the very old flip phone.
He begins to walk back around the wall rather quickly.
Following him. Hopefully we get there.
Lyric will also follow, but at the same time, carefully yank the phone cord from the front desk wall.
easy enough. As you around the wall, the separating wall there, you see several cheap desks, appointed as you would think they would be, with computer monitors and landline phones and papers and pens and whatnot. He is making for one of the closest ones and reaching for the phone as he notices that you're, hey, you can't be back here.
Have we determined that he is pretty much alone?
You do not see anyone else.
Eric will look at Finn and make a motion towards her throat, like she's clutching her pearls, but he should know it's like choke.
Yeah, not in my wheelhouse of skills. So as she makes the sign for the choke, we of course fall back to our usual routine. I'm not supposed to be back here. What are you talking about? We left our property, and get close enough to spin him into Lyric. So it seems like we're just tussling if anybody happens to see any other footage.
All right, so you're going to grab him and direct him?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lyric.
As soon as he gets close enough, she's chokehold.
All right, he is vigilant, but also concerned with dialing the phone. I will say outside of rolling, because the difficulty is low enough that you are able to both spin him where he needs to go, and then the recipient party is able to put him in a chokehold. And he says, and his arms are flailing.
I shouldn't, but I can't help myself. I am a child of my generation. So as he goes under and his arms are flailing, I make the Degeneration X sign.
Noted. So, Lyric, what is your intention here? You have a poor night clerk in a headlock. He is grunting and mumbling, but he doesn't have enough air to say anything. His legs are kicking and his arms are flailing.
Just wants him to go to night-night Betty Bite time. That's pretty much it. She doesn't want to hurt him too much. She just needs him out of the way for the time being.
All right, so he kicks at the desk. He drops the phone on the ground. He didn't finish dialing it. He slowly passes out after kicking the desk out of place, and things go sprawling onto the floor. Whole thing is rather noisy, but again, you don't see anyone coming to his aid or anyone else around. Meanwhile, outside in the car, what is going on out there?
Well, as they approach the door, Penny will be making her way out and toward the garage.
And Jacob will follow.
All right, it is a big, heavy steel or some sort of metal garage door. It is currently pulled down. You do not see like the typical door next to it for foot traffic. It is not extremely well lit. Other than that, there's some graffiti on the wall that doesn't mean anything.
Cool. We'll pace around a little bit to see if there's another door or like an emergency exit or like a stairway that goes up to like a second floor office type thing.
You don't see anything. The office was on the ground floor. That's where Finn and Lyric went. You presume there's probably some sort of emergency exit, but it's not out here on the street. Might go to an alley or...
Alright. Well, barring finding anything, we'll give the door a tug, see if I can get it to lift up. Or if there's a button or something.
You do not find a button. The door is rather heavy and locked, but if you'd like to give me a strength in athletics to just try to muscle it open, that is a possibility. In theory.
Going to rouse the blood for this.
Always an option.
Didn't get any hungrier.
The beast is down with this plan. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's my final answer.
So you're a little shy of being able to open that door. It is rather heavy. It is designed for security, but at the same time, it's not like $1 million installation.
Right.
We can do one of my favorite things, which is win at a cost.
Oh, absolutely. Perfect time to do that.
So, what you are able to do behind door number 2, if you choose to accept it, is you are able to inch this thing and finally throw it up, but it is going to be noisy as hell.
Cool.
You're not only going to alert everyone who may or may not be in the building, you're alerting probably anyone who is driving by or walking by or lives in the immediate neighborhood.
Amazing. Let's do it.
All right. So the door very noisily crashes open. Inside, you see it's not lit. There's kind of the emergency lighting or whatnot, motion detectors. So as you step in, when you step in, that light will come on, but you do not see anybody. You see rows of identical black town cars with tinted windows that are parked. You see next to the parking area, which currently has about a dozen cars in it, there is what you would assume is a garage office, and then there's an area that you can drive down that you can't really see from where you are.
Alright. I will head towards the little office area, see if they have, like the board of keys for drivers to take.
All right, that is easy enough to do. The door is non-existent. It's kind of a little cubby, it's like a 10 by 10, lot of papers, and there's a lockbox on the wall which is not locked, which has keys in it. In fact, it doesn't even have a door on it. It's just, you can tell it was a lockbox at one point. They just took the door off. Computer terminals, 2 different monitors on the desk, kind of one on either end. And,
Jacob will...
Go ahead, Jacob.
Sorry. I was going to say Jacob's going to see if he can find the car that they're looking for on the monitors. Assuming that it's like security cameras. He should be able to see like what cars are parked where.
Fair enough. As you sit to look at the security cameras, you do see someone being choked out in the office.
Do I recognize the choker?
You do. You see a poor man flailing and kicking as he slowly goes down.
Jacob will simply chuckle to himself and not raise any alarms.
As far as finding the particular car, they all look pretty much the same. They're same make and model, same year. It's like they just went and bought a fleet at once. The only thing that really distinguishes them for the most part is the license plates. I mean, there's a dent here or a scratch there, even though it's been mostly covered up. New York drivers, you know. Meanwhile, just because it is immediately imperative to know what happens, you guys in the office, as the night clerk goes sleepy time, hear a giant crash from outside the back door leading into who knows where.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. I wouldn't. It's New York. There's noise. You gotta chalk it up. It's gonna happen. So we have a successful distraction while we're here. If he's just a guard, you want to stuff him underneath the desk here? We can tie him and his friends will find him later. Now we know that we probably should have questioned him before we put him completely to sleep. But, yeah, let's start looking through the paperwork. They usually keep that shit lying around piled up because no one likes to fucking do it.
So she does as suggested, tucks him safely under the desk with his tie, tying his hands, keeping him from getting up. Moves the closest phone away from him so that should he by chance wake up, he has no recourse of calling the cops on them at the moment. And then we'll help Finn look through the paperwork for the most recent car rentals, logs from the night before, that kind of thing.
All right. He is not easy to maneuver under the desk. The desk is not designed to hold people under it. But you're able to get him in there and tie him up. Back to the garage, as we know what the reaction in the office is to the giant crash from Penny. Jacob is looking for a specific car. Penny, you were walking around the corner to see where that other drive went.
Yes.
Goes to what looks like a mechanic area that has two bays and lifts and all that stuff. Looks like they do all their maintenance in-house.
Very nice. I will go inspect a little further.
All right. Jacob, are you just walking through the cars checking the license plates, or?
Does he recall the manufacturer and model of the car that was chasing them or was following them?
I don't think we ever specified, but we will say that they are all Lexus town cars.
Okay, because he's gonna try and narrow down his search based on that, but yeah, that's basically what his strategy is. Just kind of brute force search for it.
All right, it is indeed present. Penny, if I can get a wits and awareness from you. And Jacob, you managed to find the car looking at the license plates. It is parked on the extreme end, away from the office.
And he will... Actually, is anyone else within earshot right now? Because he's gonna kind of try and call someone over. Over here. I found it.
Penny is.
Penny is thinking. Let's roll with it. It's fine. What's the worst that can happen?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, because in a minute I'll tell you. Meanwhile, back in the office, you guys are going through paperwork. There is definitely a stack of paperwork that needs to be input into the computer. A lot of it's just data entry stuff, records of rentals and clients and whatnot. Nothing that really stands out to you as this is important.
Well, since some of them have like a record of clients, I would try to match for the day that we were followed, and then take whatever paperwork from that day with that list of clients that had hired cars, basically.
It is a fairly easy task, though rounding everything up is not so much easy.
Garbage can.
Well, I mean, it's spread out across several desks and whatnot. Apparently no one in this office is pulling their weight.
Excellent. We like sloppy things like this. That means we can embezzle the company later. At least somebody can. Perfect company to be exploited by one of us, or several of us, by just letting standard human laziness and greed drive them into doing things they probably shouldn't. But, and with the little bit of information we have, the others should be much farther along, unless of course they're gods or something further hidden. Should we attempt to find them, or go get an ice cream cone? I could use with a lemon and Italian ice right now.
We should probably warn them we don't have much longer, seeing as how whatever that fucking noise was that just got made is bound to catch somebody's attention. So we should cut out of here, and we should let them know that time is ticking.
If only someone besides us had means of contacting each other. Oh, that's right. We did stop and get the burner phones. You think everybody has them on them? You know, I got mine. Pull out the flip again.
Well, I mean, Penny should. She was with us when we brought it. So, Lyric, after they grab up what paperwork they're going to take with them, she will head towards the door, but text Penny, hey, cut it short. We got some paperwork. We don't have long. And then head for outside so they can get away from the building.
You know, not for nothing, you're pretty good with that texting thing. How long have you been playing around with these phones? Illegally. You know, just between us.
Well, you know how it is. The girls at the club, they'll, hey, put me on my Instagram. Shoot this video for me. I need TikTok followers, whatever the fuck that means.
Don't get defensive. I'm mostly just busting your shit because, well, I'm pretty good at making identification, especially the older sorts. It has required me to stay abreast of some of the technological advances, including the hologram there behind the state seal. And there's several ways to replicate it, but the easiest way, believe it or not, they have this free art program that you can play inside the computer, GIMP. You can replicate holograms with GIMP and in a 3D printer, which I unfortunately had to learn how to use. So I'm not quite as technologically unsophisticated as I pretend. I just keep things separate in separate envelopes. You know how to do that.
She answers him with a wink, and then kind of, you know, when we were growing up, a GIMP was entirely something else.
Completely and totally. The way that language has changed over just the last 6 years alone. What would you call a coney dog?
A pony.
Yeah. No one calls it that anymore. Everyone calls it a glizzy. Ask me what a glizzy also is.
You gotta be out your fucking mind. And they're having this conversation as they get outside.
All right, so the plan is to go out and not in.
Safer out. We could always circle around if need be. We're waiting on the text.
So, back to the garage. Penny, with her amazing amount of successes, but a messy critical. You have a sense that something is wrong. Your beast also has this sense and is not very happy about it. Your fangs come out. You get into a sort of defensive crouch as your head's on a swivel. But it doesn't do you a whole lot of good as you turn around and are facing about 2 inches away the muzzle of a shotgun as it racks.
Amazing. She is going to pause for a second, be very startled.
I'm assuming Jacob also hears this.
It's pretty quiet. It's a garage, so the sound does carry and echo a little bit. As you turn to look, even though you are 20, 30 yards away there, if that, probably not 20 yards at the most, you do see a guy who is wearing some sort of coat with a hood up, who is leveling a shotgun right at Penny's face.
Shit. He whispers to himself, and then he will do something stupid and try and actually no, do something. He's gonna hide behind a car.
Good call.
That is definitely far from stupid.
All right.
The guy whose face you can't make out, he just basically says in a thick New York accent, "Why'd you break the fucking door?"
Oh, it was like that when we got here.
You know you need an appointment. You should have come in through the entrance. Those other twos up there, they friends of yours?
I'm sorry?
The two up front that were causing the commotion, they friends with yours?
Define friends.
You can hear him kind of sigh and growl, and he kind of says, "Come on," and he like pushes you back gently with the barrel of the shotgun.
Alright. I will, I guess, not necessarily like super submissively, but you know, not put up a huge fight yet.
That's fair. You know that you would probably survive it, though at this range it would definitely ruin your day.
It sure would.
Question.
Yes.
Was Jacob given a burner phone, or did that happen like last session?
I believe they have one for him, but because he wasn't there.
Okay, there goes the option of calling for help. So Jacob is gonna try and keep low, but
it's we didn't discuss it, but it's entirely plausible that they would have given it to you before you all went in there. Probably more than plausible, really.
It would certainly be reasonable for Jacob to be given a burner phone. He's gonna take out the burner phone once they're out of... 20 yards away, that's out of earshot. He's gonna make a quick call to Finn and basically say, someone caught Penny. They've got a shotgun. Help.
Slow down. It's New York. Everybody's got a gun. What are you talking about?
Some guy in a hood snuck up behind Penny.
Oh, the sewer rat. Most likely. And has her at gunpoint. And is now escorting her away. I don't have a gun. Why don't you have a gun?
And
you're a New Yorker.
I am not going to answer that question. I need backup.
Well, where are they? Like, we're outside. We sent the text a couple of minutes ago. We got some papers.
We found the car that was tailing us.
Nice. Did you check the trunk?
Did not get a chance before the gun situation happened.
Do they have a
Storyteller
gun on you?
No, they do not have a gun on me. They have the gun on Penny.
Are you following them?
I am trying to.
Go back to the car. Check the trunk. They got the gun on her. You're for Scott clear. You check the car. Let her lead them up here. We'll figure out something along the way. Because it's better for us to have, room to dodge, room to move, and not be right up close on it. So let them come to us. Let them lead her up and through the building. So that at least we get a chance to at least get some information out of this.
All right. Storyteller, what floor are they on currently?
Ground floor. Actually, it's slightly underground at this point, the garage itself, but it leads, the ramp leads up to the street.
Okay, is that the direction they're heading? Like the gunman and Penny?
He seems to be leading her back to that little office.
Okay, then Jacob will add at the end, they're heading back to that office.
Oh, well, we tried to create the distraction. That's good. You go through the trunk. Maybe there's a weapon. Maybe there's a tire iron. If there's not any information, grab the weapon. Follow behind. No one will expect that. And while you do that, hey, Rick, you won't believe this. There's a sewer rat with a shotgun to Penny's dome right now. And so they're leading her through to the office. We should probably get ready to either push her into the shotgun so she takes the brunt of the blast, or find a distraction for the guy with the gun.
Jacob is going to hang up at that point and will go to the trunk.
All right, that is an easy task to accomplish since you are hiding right next to that car, I presume. You can crawl back to the trunk, but you have no way to open it. You do presume that there's probably a button or some sort of latch inside the car itself that will open it. And how are you feeling?
No, I'm feeling pretty okay. As we're walking, does he keep it pointed at the head, or does he kind of drop it down towards the chest?
The chest mostly.
Okay.
He directs you into the little office, provided you don't do anything that could be construed as extremely foolish.
Have you met us? Foolish is name of the game. Before we get to the office, as we're passing a nice little corner that she might be able to juke around real quick, she's going to activate Fleetness and get the fuck out.
All right. If you would like to roll Dex and Athletics for me.
Let me rouse first.
And I see you have Cat's Grace, but that won't apply to this one because it's more of a dodge.
Not getting hungry, but that's alright. Because I can add celerity to dice pool for non-combat, and once per turn can do this when defending with dexterity plus athletics.
That's fine. All right, so Penny enacts her supernatural speed to dodge around the corner. The shotgun goes off, which is definitely loud in this non-carpeted, heavily tiled wall room. Echoes around, it can be heard on the street. Most of the buckshot goes into the wall of the plywood. It's not super sturdy construction, this little office, so it does kind of blow a hole in the corner there. Penny probably get hit a little bit, but not enough to do any appreciable damage because it's kind of hard to not get hit at this range by a shotgun. So yeah, that's what's going on. I assume that people have some ideas of what they would like to do now.
Jacob considers rushing to the sound, but thinks better because Penny is now dead and he's too late, or Penny is not dead and he's still not able to handle someone with a shotgun. So instead, he turns back towards the car as the sound of the gunshot is still echoing through the garage. He's just going to try and break the window and hope that the gunshot's echoes are louder than the sound of glass breaking.
I imagine they would be, and the person that you have to be wary of is certainly distracted at the moment. Finn in Lyric, I'm sure that you have some things that you might like to do, hearing a loud shotgun blast go echoing out of the open garage.
Yeah, I'd like to be on the number 6 bus across the side of town in situations like that. The more people that could hide amongst would be easier. However, up close and personal with a shotgun is a very good way to test the limits of your immortality. We're waiting for the trap to be sprung, as it were. So, as much as the emotions drive one to run towards the sound of that, the fact that there is not an immediate scuffle or a coup de grace should mean that the target of the shotgun is still on their feet and ambulatory. And as long as they're ambulatory, they should be running out, not further into the building. So me and Rick stick to the plan, stick to what should happen. The individual needs to come towards the street, needs to come through those doors so that we can interact with them. Anyone but someone we know gets interacted with as quickly and violently as possible.
Yeah, basically we're going to set up flanking on either side of the door so that whoever comes to the door after Penny gets tackled and taken down.
All right. Those of you on the street, as your heads are on a swivel and you're getting into position, you definitely do notice a number of bedroom or lights coming on through windows and people looking out through them. Just as an aside, it's not an immediate threat. Jacob, you break the window. Doesn't seem like anybody is noticing at the moment. If they hear it at all, they have more pressing concerns to deal with. I assume you're going to reach in and look for a button to open the trunk.
Yes.
Easy enough to do. You fumble around a little bit, but you do find only 2 buttons under the dash there. One pops open the gas cap, and then the other one, you hear the trunk start to open.
And then he'll go open it all the way.
Alrighty. Penny, you have just received some new holes in, I believe, Lyric's clothes. What are you going to do?
I'll buy her some new clothes.
Well, it's not an option at the moment, but...
I am going to keep going, try to get far enough away to where I can duck around the corner and activate Unseen Presence. Or Cloak of Shadows, rather. You know, that first one.
Right. So, once you round the office, which now has a hole in it, you have basically a straight shot to the door. There isn't really anywhere to turn off other than into the office.
Well, that's not going to be acceptable. So I will just zigzag as best as possible.
All right.
Get out.
As you hold your metaphorical breath, running for the door, there are no more shots. Nothing appreciable really happens to you, other than the heavy footfalls of oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Now, would those be my footsteps?
I believe they would be.
Here.
Possibly Jacob's too, but he's not actually walking anywhere at the moment.
Right. Yeah, so that'll be it. Get to where I can get around a corner or bust through a door to where my buddies are, and we'll call it a day.
So Finn and Lyric see Penny hoofing it out the door. Do they accidentally tackle her, or?
No. They're Lyric is good at ambushes and traps. It's a specialty of hers. So she's pretty sure who's heading towards them, and helps her by yanking her through the door and close to her body to get her out of the immediate line of fire, because she's still assuming she's going to get shot, or that Penny's going to get shot at. So she grabs her and pulls her away from line of shot against her body in the wall.
Okay, that is easy enough to do. I assume that Penny is not resisting, though she might be. She's not having a good couple minutes here at the moment.
Right, it's just been one disaster after another. But yeah, no, Penny is not going to resist someone that she recognizes.
Alright, I'm sure there is a moment of more oh shit as you come flying out the garage door and a hand grabs you and pulls you towards the wall, but you quickly see that it is not a foe, as far as you are aware of anyway.
Amazing. So I will just sit there and wait and count for a few seconds to see if Jacob comes running out.
Well, let's see what Jacob is doing. He is opening the trunk and standing up and taking a look.
For a split second, I thought you were going to say taking a shotgun to the stomach, but continue. Go ahead.
Well, there's some distance between you and him, so it wasn't going to happen immediately if it's going to happen at all. But
No, I for a moment I thought someone was gonna just pop out of the trunk with a shotgun.
that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Anyhow, in the trunk, you see the normal trunk things, the road flares and the cheap jacks that come with cars now, and not a whole lot of things. Seems like there's basically has been kept clean because they probably put luggage in there frequently enough.
So okay. He'll take a road flare and then he'll go back to the console of the car and see if maybe there's anything in there. Real quick about it because, you know, shotgun somewhere nearby.
There is that. Let's go with composure and stealth.
Right, so just composure then, is what I'm hearing. One willpower? And so it becomes a success.
As far as you know, that one success is enough. I mean, it stands to reason that he's got bigger problems than a guy that he doesn't even know about.
Fair enough.
Though he did come out of nowhere, so maybe he does know about you. But again, he probably has bigger problems as he's actually shot at one of you. You go through the console and the glove box, and you just find the usual registration things.
Is there a name?
It's just registered to the LLC.
Damn. Well, that was a bust. Alright, as far as Jacob's concerned, there's nothing worth sticking around for, so he is going to... oh god.
A lot of open space between you and the exit.
Yeah. And if it is a NOS... yeah, he's gonna throw up Sense the Unseen just in case, as he's making his way towards what he assumes is the exit. He still has that road flare in his hand. On the off chance that he does encounter the gunman, he is lighting that shit up and throwing it.
That's fair. And to be honest, I was rather shocked you didn't use Sense the Unseen when you came in. That's kind of out of character for Jacob. Anyhow, you do not, I won't even make you roll it, you just do not see anything on your way out.
Okay. Not seeing anything is a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Isn't that what Penny thought?
Penny's fine.
Some holes in your clothes. Sorry about that. I don't think he was expecting me to move so fast. But he didn't from out of nowhere.
Most guys do. You get used to it after a while. Says the whispered voice of Finn.
Penny will think about it for a minute. Any similarities that she noticed in like the 0.3 seconds that she looked at him to the camera image?
Other than the fact that his hood was up, not really. The camera footage, even when Morgan enhanced it and pulled it up, was kind of grainy and pixelated because it's not super high resolution. But you know that he was probably definitely a Nosferatu. He did not have a ton of his face covered other than having that hood pulled up.
There. I would presume that he is working for someone. One of our creepy friends.
And we'll say about this time that Jacob comes out of the garage door. Is it fair to say that Jacob looks a little panicked?
Yes.
And he is holding what appears to be a road flare in his hand.
And he is just going to give him a side eye.
What are you going to do for that with that? Call AAA?
I was gonna throw it at the guy if I found him. Thankfully, I didn't.
That's a fair trade. Shotgun versus road flare. Good idea.
Well, if he's enough, that means he could catch on fire, so probably about even, but we should probably go.
Yeah, the car was a bust. There's nothing of value in it.
Step into view, moving. Can I borrow that road flare?
By all means.
So, this sort of thing. Walking back into the office and just talking as if they're still with me, not sure whether they are or not. Most offices have drawers full of replacement batteries and the like, as well as a water cooler. You said the typical things that we saw on the desk, right?
Yep.
Alright, so filling up several cups of water and setting them on each of the desks. I know we have to be out of here, but this takes literally like 40 seconds to get a cup of water on each of those desks. Except for the desk where the pantsless or formerly pantsless gentleman came to meet us. Take apart several of the batteries that they have in those drawers and what have you, rolling out so that we can get to the foil with the actual lithium on it. The road flare is going to be struck and tossed into one of the corners of the room, haphazardly, hopefully near something far enough away to slowly start smoldering. The gentleman under the desk is going to be drug out. We'll leave him right out front. That point is fine. The battery, the lithium, the chalky, dark-looking stuff inside the battery gets flicked towards each of those cups of water on the way out, dragging the gentleman from beneath the desk.
All right. Does anybody else go in the building with Finn?
Rick's not gonna let him go in there by himself, and he's probably gonna need her help dragging the guy out, so. But she keeps her awareness up.
Yeah, Jacob will accompany, and this time he'll be smart and have all his senses up.
Alrighty. And Penny?
He's just going to go ahead and go down the street to get the car.
All right. The car is, I think, practically across the street, wasn't it?
Yeah, double parked.
Double parked, but yeah, like, not like straight across the street, but like probably closer to the end of the street.
All right. So not a great big walk.
No.
Yeah, as Penny goes to leave, Lyric will hand off the paperwork that they grabbed out of there, just in case, because she doesn't want to get wet or anything. Here, this is what we found. Take it back to the car? Question mark.
Fabulous.
So, as the trio go back into the building to enact their mayhem, and Penny metaphorically dusts herself off and straightens herself out and heads for the car, Penny will see it first because everyone else has gone inside, but 2 black Escalades come flying up the street and kind of one from each direction, and they kind of bar your path to the car.
Well, rude. She will back up out of the way, not wanting to get run over.
A number of gentlemen get out, some of them with pistols in hand. They all seem to be wearing the little mock tactical headsets or the earpieces. One of them points at you, Penny.
And she'll point at herself and look confused.
The man kind of half-heartedly brandishes the pistol in your way, more directing you. Says, just sit on the curb over there, ma'am.
You will nod and go sit down.
In the meantime, the rest of you enact the plan that you had described and come dragging a man outside to be met by a number of armed gentlemen.
Well, this is fine how you do.
Oh.
Slip my hands into my pockets and turn to the right. Start walking.
One of them yells something about just get down, sit down on the curb. A couple men move to bar your path, and they're not close, but, down the street they move to, 10, 15 feet away.
You all really don't want to do this. You're going to have, and I point towards Rick, and then myself, and then to them. You're pointing guns at us on a New York street, and you're attempting to stop and what? Question us? I keep walking as I'm saying this. Do you know how that looks? Do you know the appearance of what you're attempting to do? Do you realize that a simple exchange of information makes all of this go away and doesn't look as ugly as what you're making it out to be? So, for your sake, as I keep walking forward, either present some documentation, tell us what this is all about, or move aside. Keep walking forward.
One of them levels their gun at you, and the other one says, just doing my job, sir. If you could just wait, this will all be...
And what exactly is your job besides interdicting and otherwise hostilely engaging with New York citizens at this time that the violent explosion of combustibility from the lithium in water should be happening, with the smoldering, the acrid black that happens when that chemical reaction takes place should be beginning right about now. That's the reason why I kept walking away from the door. It's not going to be large enough to cause actual structural damage, but it will cause malicious harm and damage to the paper, the desk, and the area in and around. Plus, it smells absolutely horrible. No one threatens my friends, even if they're just friends of the moment.
All right. Well, as Penny is not far from outside the explosion, if she would like to give me a frenzy check, which would be your unspent willpower.
Wait.
All the goons, thugs, though they are very well dressed, react to the explosion, ducking down, looking for cover or whatnot. The guys in front of you back up, but they are still brandishing their guns.
Grab Rick's forearm and take off running. hopefully everyone knows to get the hell out of Dodge. Like, if we stick here, it's just badness.
Jacob will... Oh, go ahead.
So Lyric, knowing what Finn is capable of, has been lockstep with him the whole time. Even with the guns being pointed at her, she just, whatever, it's not the first time guns have been pointed at her. So she keeps lockstep with him, and as soon as he grabs her, she's not resisting at all. She puts on that burst of speed.
All right, so Finn and Lyric go running down the street. Penny, I believe, goes into Roshrek. Jacob, what are you doing?
First off, are these like police officers, or are they just like hired gunmen?
They have not identified themselves as anything. They are wearing suits and whatnot. They don't look like they're gangbangers or anything like that. Maybe some sort of mafia family, could be some sort of government agency. You're not really sure. But they have not identified themselves as anything.
Okay, Jacob was not smart enough to keep in step with Finn because he was not fully aware of what was going on and was more concerned with the guns pointed at him. But now that shit's hit the fan, he will run in a opposite direction because he figures if they go in the same direction, well, then they can just catch them all. Or they could just catch all of the coterie. Whereas if they split up, there's a chance at least one of them can escape.
That is probably a fair assessment. That would probably put you running by Penny, who is not in a good state of mind.
Does that mean I also have to make the frenzy check?
You can easily skirt. I mean, you're not going to go anywhere near the fire, I assume. You probably skirt away from it out into the street or whatever.
Preferably, yes.
So I think you were able, since you weren't right there in the blast or at the edge of the blast, you were able to probably compose yourself well enough to stay rational of I'm not going anywhere near that.
If I try and grab Penny and run, would I be getting too close?
To the fire, not necessarily, because Penny is getting the hell away from the fire. However,
okay.
grabbing a frenzied vampire has its own perils.
Yeah, then he's not gonna do that. If it's clear that she's frenzied, he's just gonna run and try and get away.
Okay. Some of the men who are still reeling from what has just happened kind of half-heartedly try to bar your path. There aren't enough of them exactly to create a dragnet that isn't easy enough to get through, especially in the smoke and fire and confusion. Penny, you run as fast as you can, as far away as you can from that fire. Your fangs are out. You are not taking any shit, and these guys, while they may not know anything about you or what you are, they know that you are a monster now, and they should probably not get in your way.
Cool. Penny is having a rough night.
It's definitely not her favorite day. As we scatter and run 3 different directions, I think it is 10:48. It's probably a good time to take a 10-minute break, and then we will come back and find out what sort of calamity awaits this situation.
Indubitably.
It is early, but I am back.
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 Welcome back.
Not to tip my hand too much, but boy, that went left.
Not quite the expected outcome.
Makes for good drama.
I mean, succeed at a cost, messy critical. It's fine. That's how
Setting
it's been
Shotgun
right?
to the head.
Setting a city block on fire.
Well, the block wasn't supposed to go on fire. It's not large enough to bring the building down. Just cause some malicious damage to property. And if the cars get stuck down there and ruined, well, all the better. But to make a few cakes, you gotta break a couple of eggs. Or something like that, right?
This is why I never prepare, because this has not at all gone the way that I envisioned.
Curious, how did you envision this going?
Not like this.
Well, I certainly didn't expect the building to explode.
These things happen. The building wasn't supposed to go completely explosive. It's just a explosive reaction with the lithium in the water causing a spontaneous combustion to things that are flammable near at hand. It's not my fault that they left their desk so cluttered and stacked with papers that adding fuel to the fire, plus the huge space and the excess fuel fumes from the cars parking, a story below. These things happen. It's perfectly fine, and it's just malicious damage of property. Anyone smart enough would have probably ran out or ran further into the building so that they're not directly in the path of the fire. The only living person that was inside is pulled out, so we're good. No attempted homicide. Just the damage of property, because after all, she did survive the shotgun attempt at ending her existence. So it wouldn't be fair to kill anybody, to actively kill anybody. But yeah, they don't need their things anymore.
It'll be fine.
Right, Penny might be a little grumpy.
You should be. Getting shot sucks. Even if they do just use birdshot, it still sucks.
And then running screaming through the night with your fangs out.
That's just a perk. It's good what's the word I'm looking for?
It's good for the economy. It hurts no one.
Right. It's good marketing for her shop.
Yeah. After all, they're now one fewer, at least for the next couple of days, maybe a week or more. Livery services. She's going to be in high demand. Everyone's going to need a driver.
Well, not that business.
Several people are going to be late for work today.
Small price to pay for supporting people who would shotgun an associate offense.
Lyric, you back?
Yes.
Yeah, I was laughing, sorry. Not to mention probably set us up at their apartment complex.
Oh yeah. The fix was in. These are chickens coming home.
All right, so we pick up after the explosion and everyone's scattering. Other than Penny, who doesn't have a whole lot of choice in the matter at the moment, who is going where?
What rough neighborhood are we in, actually? Because that should be determinative of what options we actually have. If we're close to Hell's Kitchen, we know there's Rick's. If we're close to Flatiron, we can at least go loiter around Penny's place. I don't know where Jacob is, but if we're near Yorkville, Chinatown, Gramercy, Diamond District, or most places up in Harlem, especially near Spanish Harlem or Astor Row, I'll have a place. So, yeah. Options.
Well, I'm thinking somewhere on the Upper East Side, so that would put you not terribly far from Yorkville or Lenox Hill, which I believe were places you listed.
Indeed. Lenox Hill, that means we're going back to Morgan. The little printing operation that I have over there. So we're heading back towards Morgan. Unless, of course, Rick, you got a better place for us to alight and start texting like we're, teenagers.
No, we gotta go check on Morgan.
All right. There are several trains that we could take, several cabs we could take, several just blocks of all-out New York running, speed walking we could do to get there as well.
You are aware, because I'm sure you looked, that no one is obviously chasing you.
True. This is also true. So, no one's in our shadow, but it doesn't mean that no one's in our shadow. We need to get a place where we can control the horizontal and the vertical as far as it goes. Get word out to our crew. Hopefully get us together so we can figure out what the next step is. Because they've upped the ante. People are bringing out shotguns now. I feel very unsafe. I don't know how Jacob stayed calm through that. Like me personally, I would have been freaking out.
Speaking of Jacob, where is he heading to?
He is... Well, first of all, has Penny calmed down yet, or is she still frenzying?
Penny runs across the street into an alley, and unless you were chasing right along after her, you lose sight of her at that point. Chasing after her is an option.
That was his original plan, because his line of thinking is being in front of a frenzied kindred is hazardous to one's health. Being behind them is much better, because they know the best escape route.
The best escape route? Are you sure?
This does bring
Here, let me rephrase that. They create an escape route.
This does bring up a point. First of all, did Penny rouse for her fleetness earlier?
Yes.
And then if Penny can rouse for her fleetness now?
Is it still the same scene?
Technically, no.
Cool.
Alright, what's that put her hunger at?
2.
So not terrible. Jacob, she is a little hard to keep up with because she is running faster than a person should, but she's not exactly making good choices as far as her route. So even though she's outpacing you, you can keep an eye on her. She will go about a block and a half for her, which is nothing but red haze. You're pretty sure you shoved a woman to the street as you ran by. Jacob, you can confirm that. But you stop to metaphorically catch your breath in an alley, and Jacob comes running up behind you about a minute behind.
Penny, you back? Is that you in there?
No, it's someone named JJ.
Well, maybe you'll be easier to work with then.
She will snort very unladylike. It has been an interesting evening. Do not wish to repeat it.
Neither do I. I don't know where the others went. I ran in your direction and followed you here.
Pull out the little burner phone. Type, "Where are you?"
So I don't know whether you're texting someone specifically or if you have already established a group text, but whoever the recipient is intended to be gets a text from Penny.
Probably the person that sent her the text while they were in the garage.
Which would have been Rick. And assuming that they had stopped running and are looking much less conspicuous, she would hear the phone go off and take a look and then show Finn and give him the eyebrow.
Nah, let's get him to Morgan's. Tell him file back to Morgan's. Penny shouldn't know where that is.
And that's what she'll do. She'll text back, circling up at Morgan's.
She will get back a thumbs up emoji.
We'll go ahead and assume that Penny has a good mind for knowing where she was earlier in the evening, giving her line of work. Finn and Lyric, I assume, are catching a train. Jacob and Penny could do the same or take a cab, but either way, your trip is uneventful, and you all regroup back at Finn's place. Finn, as you open the door, because I assume that you and Lyric arrived first because you coincidentally were going that direction and had already decided where you were going before everyone else knew. If both of you would like to give me a wits and awareness.
Wits and awareness is... do we leave it? Nah, let's take a chance.
Well, that was a market difference. All right, so for both of you, you hear what you think are muted gunshots on the other side of the door. Finn, as I assume you are opening the door, as you hear this, you also smell vitae in the air.
Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Alright, so at Hunger Tree, while vitae doesn't smell anywhere near as enticing as regular human go juice, this is problematic. Hey, Morgan! The fuck are you doing?
You hear her say, "Hang on a minute." And she yells, "What?"
What the fuck are you doing? This is not fucking okay. Playing video games and taxing yourself is a surefire way to destroy everything in the immediate environment around you.
She comes out of the other room. You see the blood streaking her face. It's mostly dried.
What were you doing that you tapped into your death? Were you playing fucking video games and trying so hard that you tapped into who and what you are, the monster within?
Well, I got sad and then I played some Call of Duty. And this fucker kept camping me and I was about to fucking swat his ass.
Oh, fucking mother of God, give me patience. Look, we only survive as long as we do if we don't tempt the beast for frivolities. You are fucking dead. You are a grenade that has not gone off yet at every single moment of your existence. Using the abilities given to you by the murderous mayhem master that made you as you are, that killed you, to play video games, puts all of the humans within 3 blocks of you at risk, and by extension puts all of us at risk. You don't touch your mojo for anything that does not concern avenging, protecting, or absolutely destroying something that's going to give you strength, that's going to replenish you. Are you helping someone? No. Are you killing someone? In reality, no. Is someone's life at stake? No. Then you should not ever do that again.
She drops her head and kind of wrings her hands in front of her. You see the drop of blood fall from her cheek onto the floor, and she just quietly says, "Okay," and turns around and walks off. That's about the time that Penny and Jacob show up.
And Rick kind of looks at Finn. You were a little hard on her. She's a delicate little flower, you know this. I know she's a delicate little flower with teeth, but she's still young. She didn't grow up like we grew up.
Do we want her to be able to survive? Because what she did in my space, what she's doing in my space, puts me in a position where I am very, very, very close from tearing her throat open, which would damn me further, would lessen me. And could you stand to see me like that? Could you stand to see me crushing a flower between my fingers? That flower in specific. That?
No, I understand. I will go talk to her. And then she looks to see that Penny and Jacob have come in. Nice to see you guys again. We are having a bit of a family tiff. Somebody's a little cranky. She looks at Finn. And now I gotta go talk to the girl. Shut the door
What
behind
happened?
her. And she goes towards...
Take a whiff.
Oh.
To play fucking video games.
Now, to clarify, the smell of vitae was from the tears on her face.
No, I understood. It's
Okay.
in my understanding of the world, even that could push you over the edge. And being as his blood is what his blood is, that was very much waving a red flag in front of a very angry, already stabbed bull.
No, it's fair. I just wanted to clarify she wasn't burning blood for anything, but yeah, it does. It will take its toll over time. Of course, now she's crying again. So Jacob has bloodhound. He doesn't need to roll anything, so he definitely smells the vitae in the air. Penny's senses might still be overwhelmed by explosion and gunpowder.
A little bit.
Did you say there was like a smell of something burning as well?
No, it was the muted gunshots they heard from the video game.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask if she was smoking something as well.
So Lyric will go and find Morgan and to comfort.
She is sitting in the corner in a ball crying. Because that's how she do.
Hey. I know he's a big jerk, and I have gotten to know him fairly well over the years. He's a little cranky, he needs a snack, a Snickers, something. But don't him, I mean, you should mind what he says because it is important, but at the same time, sometimes he gets a little high on his horse, on the soapbox. So no more tears over him, okay? And then she kind of helps her up, and trying her best not to let it be nothing that it's not supposed to be, but she's been raised around like Spanish moms and stuff, so she licks her thumb and kind of wipes at the tears.
All right. She does not necessarily resist, but she's not like a melting Bambi eyes either.
You know, you're stronger than you think you are. You probably wouldn't have made the whole year of this if you were not stronger than you think you are. At least you met your sire right after you returned. Mine, well, our sort make their babies as they are the childers, and then they just leave them in like a box, like fucking free kittens. And then if they make it a year, then they introduce themselves and come back. But I can't hate her for that. So, I just want you to have an easier time of this than I did. He wants you to have an easier time of this than he did. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to make it so that you can survive with or without us. You get it?
But it's just not fair. I didn't ask for any of this. I don't want to be this. I don't want to do this. I have to hurt people. Everyone's so mean to me, and I just don't want to anymore.
It's a rare thing to ask for this. There are those among us that do ask for it. There are those among us that know what they're getting themselves into and go through a rigorous process to become what we are. She kind of glances towards Jacob. But it is what you do with your time now, what you decide to do moving forward, that makes or breaks you. I know you're tired. I know you don't want to do it anymore. But really think about what you could do with your time. Now that you have all the time in the world, unless you die permanently, but usually barring most things, you could live 10, 20, 30, 40 years, maybe even 100. There's those of us that are good 1,000 years old. Don't fuck with them. They're crazy by this point, but at the same time, can you imagine what they've accomplished in that amount of years? Can you imagine what you would have seen in that amount of time?
But I can't go near my friends. And I had to give up my family, and I just can't. I can't do it. I'm alone, and I can't do anything, and I don't want to hurt people.
You don't have to. You can find ways. Like, look, when we took you to the strip club, they were willing. They're having a good time. You're having a good time. I know you don't want to keep eating strippers, but there are kind of people that are into this sort of thing. And they'll let you get what you need from them. Or you gotta do that. You can live on people like that, and you're not hurting nobody because they want it. You see? And you make new friends. I know it's not as good as your old friends or your family, but you make new family. Finn is my fucking family now. I haven't seen my actual mom in I don't know how long. I have people that are in the living world still that I care about. They don't know what I am, but it doesn't matter because they still matter to me. But that's all you need, right? Find new family. Find new friends.
He's acting like my mean stepdad. I need some time.
Okay, but please stop crying, sweetheart. 'Cause the blood, you're spending blood crying. Every fluid in your body now is now mixed with whatever you eat and whatever blood you ingest. So the more of it you spend crying, the less of it you'll have in your belly to keep you from being hungry, okay?
I can't help it.
I know, and she just kind of can't help but like hug her. She grabs her and just kind of like pets her on the back and pets her on the head, and she's looking at Finn like, you monster.
She is actually warm, so clearly she's been spending blood on things that were not efficient.
There's a wash basin, the good old-fashioned cast iron, late 1920 style sink in the north corner of the room. Move over to it. Take one of the shop towels and wet that. The water heater isn't really on because we don't really use warm water for much of most, except for aging, but you can cook up in the electronic kettle over there. So rinse it, soak it, wring it out a little, once or twice, and then walk towards her. Keeping Rick between us, and extend the soaked shop cloth. You don't like hurting anybody. Sometimes you gotta. And right now, your tears are hurting me. Like I told you, we all got our thing. That coming out of you is very much a genetic predisposition of mine, which would cause me, if I allow my finger to come off the trigger, if I allow myself to take my foot off of the throat of the monster in my chest, to do horrible things. And it hurts. And especially being as you've got nothing from them, save more of them. Please, clean your face, find your center, and don't take this as anything more than a learning lesson. I hate to say it, but at this point, you have a choice. You can get good, or you can keep screwing up and have someone else swat you. Shaking the towel for either her or Rick to take and clean her face.
She lets out another uncontrolled sob at your words of someone killing her if she doesn't get it together. Or at least that's how she took it. But she will take the towel and nod with a quivering lip and go wipe her face off in the mirror.
Oh, it's been one hell of a night, and it's not even over.
No, not over by a long shot. We have no idea what the information we actually got amounts to. We know that whatever entity that is on that garage is plugged with enough resources to send a security strike team. In less than 15 minutes we were in the area. Puts them pretty close.
Would be my assessment.
So they hired cutouts to keep a track on us, to keep a watch on us. And when we got close enough to incidentally finding out something that might be useful, they sent a goon squad to intercept us and keep us from learning anything that they didn't want us to know. Taking it that we were going to get kidnapped off to some secret location where we would be questioned and answered and all of that stuff.
Question is, how related is it to the event of the other night?
Well, I've been living quietly in New York my entire life. Nothing like that's ever happened to me directly. Even with all of the things and people that I've helped over the years. For a cost, of course. So, not for nothing. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a kangaroo looking to kick you in the nuts.
Morgan sits in the corner and pulls her backpack up to her chest and puts her head on her knees It's just quiet.
You said you didn't find out much, but that means that you did find out something. Jacob, what stands out in that something that you parsed together in your time away examining the laptop? And where did you leave the laptop so we can go retrieve it if we have to?
Well, Jacob will pull it out of, I'm assuming he at this point would have like some kind of backpack or carrying case. I have it here. What I found was some hidden documents regarding some less than legal business transactions, as well as a chat log from that Minecraft server. Seems like he's been communicating with someone who's possibly a kindred using it.
I see.
I don't have anything further to go on other than a username, though.
Hey, Morgan.
Coincidentally enough, Jacob, you did see in some of the records, not necessarily the below board records, the name of the livery company that you just blew up. And Morgan
I do know
looks
that...
up at you warily.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I was gonna say, I do know that he's had some dealings with this delivery company. Not fully sure to what extent that dealings was.
No, that answers that question. They were private security. They didn't look like cops. They didn't act like cops, either off duty or on duty. Any chance, Morgan, would you be able to potentially parse the information that Jacob has found and see if there's any listing for a security company? Everyone has to register their business licenses. And if there is, we can draw the line to find out who's pulling the strings above our head to keep us and yourself perfectly safe from all of the fallout.
She looks up and nods and wipes at her eyes again. They're still leaking a little bit.
And Penny. Rick, what you got?
Makes Rick thinking for a minute. She looks at Morgan. Have you ever tried bag blood? See if that kind of helps with things. I mean, that way you don't have to hurt anybody at all. And if we can get you a connect that has it, they're like little Capri Sun sippy cup, that kind of thing.
I didn't know it came in bags.
See, that's why we're here, teaching you things you didn't know. We could probably try to figure it out, but we need this first, and I will call somebody that does me favors, and we'll try to get you some bag blood, because you're gonna need it.
When she's talking about bagged blood, Penny will just make a pointed look at Jacob.
Yes.
Is that a thing you can do?
What?
Bags? Blood?
Blood bags? I mean, I can try.
I mean, you did work for a hospital, right?
Yeah. That really has nothing to do with making blood bags. I can certainly draw up blood from a syringe. In fact, and he pulls out the syringe he drew up previously. I have some with me.
That blood is fairly congealed at this point.
And nothing that a little spit and elbow grease won't fix.
You're a Tremere, you'll find some way to use it.
You're a sick man. You. Well, Morgan works on that. I mean, Rick, you were going to look into your contacts for finding something palatable of a similar variety for her to try out. Penny, I give you shit about being a criminal and being one of the rich elites, which are roughly the same thing. But in this particular case, you got as best of a look as possible at the shotgun Steve, who was attempting to perforate you. With your connections within our particular private club, do you think you can reach out to someone with an approximation of what he looks like? There's only so many of us, even in this city, that are known enough to be known. And if he's known, it windows it down considerably.
I can give it a try, but he's not someone I recognized from the
Disco?
fun and, well, sure, we'll call it a disco.
Excellent. I didn't get a look at the guy. I was hoping he would have come out, but, well, you know. But we know that he's of the ratty variety, and he works in close camaraderie association with a now deceased blue blood. Can't be that many of us who would do such a thing, and can't definitely be many of them that would do such a thing. He was fucking god in the place, like what's the skinny deputy from Gomer Pyle's friend from back home, Mayberry, RFD, and all of that.
Barney Fife?
Yeah. So he's god in the place like Barney Fife, which means he's plugged with whoever owns it, who is already talking to our deceased blue blood. The lines are getting drawn, as it were.
Clock is ticking as well.
Yeah. Night 2. And we still haven't dropped the line. Speaking of which, I hate to do it. I absolutely despise to do it. But, and I move over to one of the shelves on the back wall, rummage around and pull out a landline and move to the very much almost painted over phone plug and plug in. I'm gonna have to call Chinatown to get a hold of Noor Ismet. Her husband is down that way. She knows this guy. We owe him that. She owed a debt to. Through her, she'll do anything to not pay full price. And I know it's gonna be some shit, but I didn't expect it to be this much. So hopefully she can relay a message. Maybe even find out what he was after, so that we can get that much for him at least.
Well, you do know that your sire is old school, so you're probably not going to hear back from her exactly quickly, at least probably not in the couple hours you have left in the night, but you can certainly start the ball rolling.
Yeah, that's all it's about. She's fucking biblical when she does stupid shit like this. Like, the actual plagues of Egypt would be kinder than what she would do to save a penny, to squeeze the boogers out of George Washington's nose on the quarter. She is very persistent, or at least she can be.
Well, if she can buy us some extra time.
Morgan is clicking away on the laptop that you got from Chaz's place. At one point, you hear her quietly say, "Ooh, Minecraft."
Oh
Right.
yes, Jacob actually found something in that. Did you want to work with her, Jacob?
Gladly.
Rick looks at Jacob. Since I'm reaching out for some bag stuff, is there anything you want? Like, because I know you, like, had that vial of blood, but maybe I can get them to bring some extra.
I'll never turn down extra blood.
Okay, so Lyric will reach out to Kenny, which is her contact. He's kind of the hustler sort, and she knows he will answer his phone for her most of the time.
All right, that will also be a bit of a process. You are able to leave a voicemail or a message with somebody, however you generally contact him, but you don't immediately contact them. Is it a man or a woman? Oh, I guess
Kenny.
Kenny. Yeah, I guess that helps. I was looking at the Ekeen on there, and I was like, I'm not sure what the gender on that name is. So, but yes, you leave a voicemail. And, presumably, they will get back to you.
Yeah. Okay, deal.
It is pretty late in the night. You guys did a lot of traveling, and you dealt with the server and whatnot. So you probably got, I don't know, a good 2 hours of nighttime left.
Well, that being the case, we need a place to hold up. This isn't exactly the best environment for spending the night, spending the day, as it were. It's safe enough, but enough is never enough in a situation like this. To be perfectly honest, none of us know if we were incidentally followed, if more sewer rats have spread the word that we are personas non gratis, or what have you. So I would prefer that we don't do crime while doing crime, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I totally understand.
So, we're across the park from Rick's place, and you're a little bit further south. Jacob, what about your place?
I prefer not to go back there for now.
Understandable.
You know he's not allowed to have sleepovers.
Flipping through Minecraft, Morgan is checking out several things on the one private server. Presumably you point her to the correct one. She's looking at something. She keeps biting her lip and like kind of leaning in, squinting her eyes at it.
Something got you hooked?
It's like this message they left is just kind of gibberish, but it kind of has a pattern.
So it's a code. Your egg looks like you might be up.
I guess I'll have a look.
You didn't see it before because it was actually something in the game. was not part of the chat log, but there is some sort of thing there that could very possibly be some sort of hidden message, a cipher.
So, like a structure in the game?
Yes. If I remember correctly, you're able to actually put text on things.
Yes. You can do a lot more than that in this game. I've seen people code. So what exactly does it say on there?
It's a nonsensical stream of numbers and letters. Though, as you look at it, it does kind of look like, the old cryptograms from the paper. Like there might be something that if you could figure out what number or symbol corresponds to what letter, the typical sort of code cipher thing.
Mm-hmm.
That there might be some more messages there.
Don't suppose they left around a key to solving this.
Not that you are aware of.
Morgan, looks like you and I are about to try and decrypt a message.
She bites her lips and nods. She wipes at her eye again. She then I'll say that she then pulls
quietly.
Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, sorry. Rick is very quietly watching them and starting to wonder if it would be possible to force feed somebody Zoloft and then get her to drink.
Morgan will reach in her backpack and pull out a blue composition book, and she will begin copying down what is written on this particular thing that she's found. And other than that, with all these things hanging in the air and some things starting to connect together, even though you don't know how or why, I believe that with 2 hours left in the evening and some talk of where we might shelter for the day, I will go ahead and call this session to a close, to be continued next week. Thank everyone for coming along and indulging me and hopefully enjoying this collective world we're creating.
Absolutely.
And that is all. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay, we're still alive.
We
Yay.
have survived. See
Have a
you
wonderful
all.
night, guys.
Good night, everybody. See you guys soon.
Good night.
Good night, all.